My name is Inga Cotton. I'm in this little box on the side because I wanted to feature our guest today. There's a new Montessori program for an early childhood program that's opening on the north side of San Antonio called Montessori Kids Universe Stone Oak. And we have two amazing guests to tell us all about this particular center that they're creating, their backgrounds as educators. And, we always get questions all the time in the discussion group about what is Montessori education? What is child-centered learning? So that's some of the things we're going to talk about. So let me introduce our guests. So on the far opposite side of the screen is Leoni Wallace, and she serves as curriculum director for Montessori Kids Universe Stone Oak. And then in the middle of the screen is Pamela Hernandez, who's the owner-director of Montessori Kids Universe Stone Oak. So ladies, thank you for joining me. And I want to tell everybody, please click in the description of the video or go to shchartermoms.com and you can read the Teacher Tales guest post that they created all about Montessori Kids Universe Stone Oak.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us. We're thrilled to be here.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to jump right into the question. So Pamela, let me start with you. So what motivated you as a parent and an educator to want to create a new Montessori learning center in San Antonio?
Definitely my son Beckham. When I first found out I was expecting, I began to imagine what experiences I wanted my son to be exposed to, what education I wanted him to have, what skills I wanted him to acquire, and Montessori education was definitely one of them. As an educator, I've always been very intrigued about curriculum. And when I grew up in a Catholic, private schools, very much traditional education. So when I was at home caring for my son Beckham, I started to search for schools around San Antonio. And I came across the first location that opened here, which is the MKU in Chavano. And I absolutely fell in love with it. The tour was beautiful. I saw the classrooms, the materials, and I loved it. And I wanted my son to be a part of this program, a part of the school. And here we are, 2 years in the making. It's been a long process, but we are super excited to be bringing the second location here in the Stone Oak area, and we're hoping to open our doors pretty soon.
Unmute. Pamela, one thing I learned as I was learning about your background is you are originally from Mexico, and that this is going to be a dual language English-Spanish program. So if you can humor me, kind of go off on that tangent, are there aspects from your upbringing in Mexico that you want to bring to the new school?
I do. Actually, I was born in Córdoba, Veracruz. I moved here when I was 15 years old, so English is my second language. I don't know how I didn't lose my Spanish, but I'm still very much fluent in both languages. And so I wanted to bring that component. I mean, we are in San Antonio, and so in San Antonio, Spanish is what most speak. So I wanted to offer a center that offers the beauty of both languages, which is English and Spanish. And I myself, I see it with my son Beckham. He is a full dual, child. My husband is from California, so he was he doesn't speak any Spanish. His first language is English, and it's always been English. And although he does have a Hispanic background, he knows very little. So at home we speak, both languages, and my son has been immersed in both languages, and my son understands perfect English and Spanish. Obviously, his expressive is a little bit more English, just because it's a little bit more easier, a little short words, right? But he understands when Mama speaks Spanish, and I love it. My husband loves, to see that he is just learning. So that's why I wanted to bring that dual language component to our schools.
Yeah. I think that's wonderful. It's something that, like I said, I'm always listening to what the parents in the Facebook group are asking about, and dual language education is really important to a lot of families. And there are families kind of like, I guess my generation, like I'm in my 40s, and when of our generation who I moved to San Antonio as a teenager, but often they were discouraged from speaking any Spanish in school, and some grandparents, very well-meaning, like they wanted their kids to grow up speaking English because it's the language of business, it's the language of opportunity, but really being bilingual is the best opportunity. That's what bridges cultures, and it brings people closer to the identity of being a San Antonio citizen.
Yes.
And so I think it's really great that y'all are going to offer a dual language experience.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my next question is for Leoni. So I was so impressed reading your resume. Like you've worked, and anybody who wants to see it, it's in the blog post. But like you've worked in so many different school settings. You've worked in Latin America and in North America. There was a particular point you mentioned about the Montessori education and also Reggio Emilia education, and how you want to bring those together. So this is your chance to geek out as curriculum director. I know parents hear these terms and wonder, like, what does this mean? Like, what are the benefits of this for my kids? Like, so can you share more about, like, what does it mean to bring together Montessori and Reggio Emilia?
Thank you very much, Inga, for inviting me one more time to this beautiful chat room today. I'm so excited to share with you all how we have infusing this beautiful Montessori, the best of Montessori and Reggio Emilia education at Montessori Kids University in Stone Oak. So I came here like in 2017, and I have a long background in Colombia, teaching in trilingual school and all that. And when I came here, I had never, be part of preschool. So I said, okay, this is my opportunity to learn more, from this culture too. So the first one that I fell in love with was with Reggio Emilia, Reggio Emilia foster, curiosity, exploration, they work with natural elements, earth, and all that. So I really fell in love with that first. But when Miss Pamela introduced me to also Montessori, and I had the opportunity to work, directly with a lot of experienced Montessori teachers, I was like, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. I can't. But I was like, no, we need to do something. We need to put those two philosophies, this beautiful philosophy of Montessori, Montessori philosophy that center, focus on the child center with Reggio Emilia, the basically inspire kids, to explore the nature, to explore their environment outside and all that. And then boom, here we come. We just did a perfect, curriculum that we're gonna be implementing in Montessori Kids Universe, where kids, kids love to play. Kids, you say, okay, let's go all play, and they don't even know that they're gonna be playing outside, working with, nature, trees, dirt, and all that. So we are gonna have a lot of, their prepared environment ready for them, to explore our 5 areas, and then we're gonna have. They're gonna also learn, this will empower learners, spark for lifelong learning, individualized growth, critical thinkers dynamo. I want the kids to be able to learn how to think and know what to think. I want them to get in charge of their own education. I want them to be my teachers. I want them to be my guidance, to teach me how to do, what to do, what to get prepared for them next.
Yeah. So if I may jump in, one of the other things that we're going to do is those two components, the way they will come together is in the morning, we're going to have our Montessori work cycle. Typically, the cycle, we call it an interrupted work cycle, and that one ranges depending, the length of the time depends on the age of the group, right? The little ones will do less time. The older ones is typically, 3 to 4 hours, depending on their interest. 3 max. But in the afternoon, after nap time, then they will go into our DaVinci Kids program, which is a Reggio Emilia program, which is our projects-based program, which introduces also STEAM, which is going to have together science, technology, engineering, math, and arts. So that's how those two components will come together at Montessori Kids Universe.
And we're also going to have the DaVinci Kids, this enrichment program that we're going to work straight with STEM, science, technology, engineers, math, and art.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to mention, so in the blogs, it links to, on the Montessori Kids Universe website, it breaks down like Pamela mentioned, it's a slightly different program, different age groups, right? So it's multiple ages in one classroom, but there will be like for very young kids, right? As young as 8 weeks, is that correct?
As young as 6, actually. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
as young as 6. Yes. Yeah.
And then up to 8 years old, right?
6 years old. Yes.
Oh, up to 6 years old. Sorry, I get my numbers switched. Okay, so 6 weeks up to 6 years old.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and then kids are grouped by different age groups, but it's more than one age in each classroom, right? I think that's one of the differences about Montessori versus like a typical classroom, where it's like everyone's within a year in a typical classroom.
Yeah, so that is as well. So we were able to separate, because we have such a big facility. I wanted to space out our classrooms a little bit better. So we are going to have our infants or neonatal room, which is going to be 6 weeks to 12 months. Shortly after, they'll transition into our young toddler classroom, which is 12 to 18 months. At 18 months, they'll move out of our Casa de Bambini, which is a small house, and then move into our big building, which is where older kiddos will be housed. So we have 2 toddler classrooms, and that classroom will be 18 to 24 months. And then after that, they'll transition into our pre-primary, which is specifically for 2-year-old classrooms. And I wanted to open that classroom because I felt it was important for the teacher, for the child to remain in that classroom up until they turn 3 years old, so they can really work on their independency, work on that toilet training, and work on prepping them to be in the primary classroom, which is our 3 to 6 year old classroom. And that classroom, it will be our age combined classroom. So yes.
So before they come to primary classroom, they will develop, this sense of movement. We're going to work with a lot of sensorial activities, hands-on, practical life for toddlers. In primary area, they're going to be more like center child learning, where they are the one who will be guiding us, what to do. The environment will be beautiful, prepared, laid out for them.
So yes.
Yeah, I haven't been able to visit a Montessori Kids Universe location, but I have been able to visit other Montessori programs, and I really encourage families. I know that y'all are planning to offer tours once the facility is ready. So hopefully, when folks are, maybe watching this video later, they go, yes, I will do a tour. But I just want to encourage people. Like I couldn't really understand Montessori just from reading descriptions of it. I kind of had to see an actual classroom, and then Leoni, you made a really good point about the prepared environment, that there's sort of specific types of, they're toys, but they're really the tools for learning that are consistent across all types of Montessori classrooms, right? So it's like the sandpaper letters, right? And things like that. There's all these, and like the beads on the wires, and, but it's not just those objects, but it's like, it's presenting them in a way and then stepping back and letting the kids do their work. And like, as Pamela mentioned, it's this, there's time set aside, and there's sort of a sequence that they work things, but they get to work on a particular problem until they feel like they've mastered it. And then they're in touch with their learning, and it's not necessarily adults just putting something in front of them and then taking it away, and put something in front of them and take it away. And then they have this anxiety of like, wait, I had a question.
Yeah, they have the, freedom of choices, freedom of movement. They decide the time they're going to work with the material, what material they're going to choose first, who they're going to, the older kids will be, guiding the younger one. They're going to work in community all together, and we're going to step outside just to observe. We'll be like observers. How do you say, Miss Pamela? Like we're not going to be teachers, we're not going to be teachers. We're going to be a straight guide. We're going to guide them on the side.
Yeah. Well, no, you guys have done a great job of introducing Montessori, and I really do encourage anyone listening who's curious, find out when they start the tours and go take a tour, because when you see what the materials are like, and when you see how children use those materials, it helps you appreciate what the difference is between a child-centered learning program versus a more traditional learning program. And it's not necessarily that one's better than another. It's it was about what your child needs. But I think that Montessori, it prepares kids to be right. A structured learning environment is kind of an artificial environment. It's not what the real world is like. The real world is more about making choices about how to spend our time and finding ways to motivate ourselves to do things that we think are meaningful. And it's about asking questions and then trying to solve those questions. And I feel like Montessori is more preparation for that kind of thinking, which is what adults do all the time. And somehow we don't let kids do that enough.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what it is. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Taking my notes, make sure I don't miss out on my questions.
Okay.
So I asked Pamela, I asked you about your background, growing up as Spanish as your first language. Leoni, do you have any comments about the combining the English and Spanish for the students at Montessori Kids Universe?
Yes, Inga. The reason why we want our program to include dual language, Ms. Pamela mentioned it before in saying, where we are in San Antonio, basically 85-90% of the community speaks Spanish. So we don't want our children, to be going to the school district later on and to struggle with the Spanish. We want to choose this bilingual, content, Spanish, English, and Spanish content. And our kids, when they leave the school, they're going to be perfect, ready for that. That's one of the reasons. And we also want the children, to learn from children who are native English speakers, to continue practicing, their English language at school. So that's why we, Ms. Pamela and Mr. Hernandez, wanted to have the school dual language, where children's going to start learning from the first moment they arrive at school. We're going to be outside greeting them in both languages. It's going to be something natural. We don't want to be giving instruction and nothing like that. It will be practical life, where we're going to say, good morning, buenos dias, how are you, ¿cómo estás? Immediately, when kids are going to start, getting the roots, Spanish roots, and continue practicing their English, mother language. We're also going to work with concrete elements, our material is going to be bilingual, we're going to start from concrete elements all the way to abstract elements, First, the alphabet, for example, I'm going to be laying out the alphabet, and then I will have, I say pencil, and I will say esfero, pencil, esfero, and then, like that, they will learn quickly, through repetition and all that. And I am also going to implement the accelerated Spanish program, created by Karen Mayer, who really inspired me, 5-6 years ago when I started working with that. Kids learn to learn Spanish in 3-4 months, where I'm going to be teaching them 5 words a day, times 5 is going to be 25 words a week. They're going to be learning, and then they'll be ready for, like I said before, for the school district when they go to the school district and do the examination start, they'll be ready for that. They're going to come back to us and say, thank you very much. My child got the highest score, and that's what I like to hear.
Yeah. With there are so many opportunities for kids to continue in dual language education in elementary school, middle school, and even some high school programs. And that gives them that foundation. If they're able to read in Spanish and learn literary Spanish and just be really comfortable in both languages and start learning it at an age when their brain is more receptive to it. Whereas me as an adult, I'm stumbling through the vocabulary.
So we're gonna do it through music, through songs, through
Yeah.
puppet shows, to even public speech. You know, people would say, "Me, come on, it's little one. He's not gonna learn." Yes, he will. Okay, we're gonna do reading comprehension, picture reading comprehension. You know, and say, "No, Miss, my child can't even read English. You know, how is he gonna read Spanish?" Yes, he will read Spanish. You know, picture reading comprehension will guide him. They will have the basic knowledge, you know, concepts like elements of the plot, you know, parts of the book. You know, I'm ready with all that. You know, I want my children to leave the school well prepared.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, I want to circle back to something that Pamela mentioned. So you talked about, I asked about, are there mixed age classrooms? And you said that the primary program is age 3 years to 6 years. And then you talked about some of the groupings for younger kids, right? Like young toddlers, 12 to 18 months. You said that there's different buildings, right? Like, so this, like the facility at, so can you talk more about the facility and like what you're able to do with it in the different classrooms?
Yeah, so initially our hearts were just to do the main building, but we didn't want to run into having to remodel the second small building while we were open. We just wanted it to get it all done, and so I wanted to make the smaller house for the little ones, where I will house my infants and then my young toddlers, and then graduate from there and moving to the big building. So at the end of the day, kind of end up working really well because I was able to spread out my classrooms the way I wanted to and the way I wanted them to smoothly transition to allow for the children, to kind of grow into the classrooms, and then transition smoothly and be ready. So, and not have to be in a classroom for a very long period of time. The only classroom that they will spend about a year will be in the pre-primary, but that was meant for them to stay that long because I really wanted them to be prepared for the primary classroom. So but typically the transitions will be every 6 months or when the child is ready to transition. So yeah.
Yeah. And Leoni, you mentioned about in Reggio Emilia, it's really important for kids to interact with nature. So can you all both like talk about like the playground spaces and I know it's like
Beautiful. I wanted to be like 4 or 5 years old again.
So the facility has many features that if you want me to get into it, I can get into it. But the main feature that for our playground, we hire a company to design our playground. And this company specializes in Montessori playground. They have served other schools, in the state. And we wanted a playground that was going to continue to foster exploration and curiosity in children. We wanted it to be fun, but also educational. So we're going to have a sundial. We're going to have a recycling bench. We're going to have a recycle station, a weather station. We're going to have an art easel, and we're going to have planters. And so it's going to be really fun. So I am super excited. Our playground should be installed hopefully towards the beginning of September. And so right now they were just trying to prep the ground for it to be installed. And I cannot wait to upload photos for parents to see it. So yeah, I have actually emailed some in our emails that we send to parents, they get the rendering of what the playground will look like. So that way they have an idea of what we're offering to our children. So yeah.
So we're gonna have plenty of spacious, space to do the gardening, to do the cooking time, to do art even outside, to remove the walls of the classroom and be outside, learning.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be amazing.
And our plans is to also, we have about 5 acres in the back, so we're clearing all that area. We're gonna have a greenhouse as well that we're gonna have built, and eventually we either want to expand or do other activities for our children to continue to explore outdoors a little bit more. So yeah, but that will come with time, obviously, as our school grows. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So,
personally requested to Miss Pamela, I say, Miss Pamela, can I be a teacher at least for a little period of time during the day? And she go, I don't know about that, Miss Leo. I say, please, I love my time with the kids. I say,
Yeah, she'll have plenty of time with the children and the teachers in the classroom. So yes, most definitely.
well, I'm excited to see updates like as the playground gets installed, and like so I'm going to encourage everybody to follow Montessori Kids Universe Stone Oak on Facebook. Let's see, did I get the handle right? Let me just double check. Yes, MKU Stone Oak. So if you do facebook.com/MKU Stone Oak, that'll, or if you just search for Montessori Kids Universe Stone Oak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another features I wanted to highlight, if I may, it's our security. I know that in today's world, that's one of the questions that's very important. So we're going to have, a double entrance security in each building. Parents will have to enter 4 to 6-digit code to enter into the main vestibule. And enter another code. Either we will have to buzz them in or do a thumbprint or a scan or a code to come into the main areas of the building.
yes.
We're also going to install an IQ lockdown system. This is a system that some school districts already have or are starting to implement to place in their schools. But what that is a metal bar inside it that it's installed inside of each classroom door or every classroom in the facility. And what that does is that teachers will wear a key fob. And that key fob, when pressed at the first sign of danger, or when we're telling them that this is not a drill, we need to lock down, they will just press it and it will automatically close the doors. The authorities will be notified within seconds. We are able to unlock it with our phones. I will be able to do that, but the authorities will also be able to unlock it from theirs. And so it's something that we felt it was important to install in our facility. And aside from that, we have our yoga studio that is really beautiful. We're going to have just a projector hanging from the wall so that can project the video for the kids to do yoga, to practice, stretching, those large and small, muscles, and then also practice mindfulness. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. And the group of teachers, the group of well-trained, certified teachers, multicultural teachers, from Central America, South America, even Europe. So our kids will learn all kinds of a Spanish accent in there.
Yeah.
Like right, lots of different words for avocado, right? Yeah.
Yes, and these teachers, we've been known this teacher forever.
For many years. Yeah. Just to touch on that a little bit, another important thing about our school is that our teachers must be Montessori certified. So that's in order to remain leads in our school. We ask that they either come with a background, Montessori education, have a certification, and or have that background Montessori experience, and then join our certification program through MKU Training Institute, and they have about 6 months to get their certification. So,
yeah, that's so important. You want the students to be lifelong learners, but it's also great for the teachers to be lifelong learners. And the more they learn about Montessori education, the more faithfully they can implement that.
It's like a family community, where there's a lot of passion for teachings and love for kids. That's one of the most important elements that I always see in a teacher, seeking a teacher, and I say, okay, this is the one that I want, that one that we can share the same passion that we have.
Yeah. Well, I know that like the school's not quite open yet, but you're getting it going. And to me, so maybe right now we're in the middle of August, so by sometime in September, maybe people will be able to come and visit the campus. And
yes, that is our goal, to open our doors for tours mid-September, so that our families can start and come visiting our facility. But we will definitely keep you guys informed through social media, and also email for all our parents that have signed up to receive emails with us. So yes.
Yeah. So what kind of feedback have you heard from parents so far? Like the ones who are signing up, like what kinds of questions do they ask and what kinds of things are they, most excited about for once the school opens?
I have so far all of our parents that I have met. I've taken a few parents to the construction site. These are parents that come from out of town, Dallas and Austin, and that are moving here to San Antonio and are starting to look for a school. I've taken them to the site, and every single parent that I've met, I have gotten great feedback. They have been more than understanding throughout this process. They know that with construction, things can happen, things that are out of our control. And parents have shown true understanding, even those that have pre-enrolled and that we had unfortunately kind of had to push our opening day back a little bit, more than we wanted to. They have also been very understanding. So we feel very blessed that our families have shown this much love from the very beginning. So, but the feedback from parents has been fantastic. And so, and this is without any furniture in the building. This is just seeing the layout and the paint and the windows. Our classrooms are not set up yet, so I can even imagine, what they're going to say once they actually get to see the setup or the classrooms and the materials. So I am super excited to get to that point. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but we're ready
for that. We're ready. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So yes.
Yeah, you get to unbox the toys, set up the furniture. Yeah.
So patiently, we can wait. Don't worry. I say, okay.
Yes, it really, it's been great. I have no complaints. It's been amazing. And so, I couldn't have asked for better families that have enrolled so far. Yeah, and the ones that I've met as well.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for the families who will get to be part of this community, for the teachers that that will get to practice Montessori learning, and Pamela, I'm excited for you as an entrepreneur. You and your family are really taking a risk to open this, but it's going to provide a great benefit to families. It sounds like families are already trying to sign in as soon as you're able to get the facility ready. And trust me, you're not alone. I've talked to many like school leaders who are there's still a lot of shortages and distribution problems, but it sounds like you're getting really close. And
no, we're getting close. We're getting there. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so I wanted to be sure before we close out to kind of share, make sure people know how to get in touch with Montessori Kids Universe Stone Oak, how they can get more information. I've got my banners ready to pop up on the screen. So, but what's your advice to families? Hopefully they've been listening and they're excited and they want to get their kids enrolled.
Yeah, so our parents can visit our website at www.mkustoneoak.com. Every parent that calls without visiting our website, I always refer them back to our website just to read the information that we have there. But also I ask our parents to fill out the request for information that sends us information that they're requesting to know more about our schools. And then we send them emails, our tuition, our curriculum, and an email that specifies our security measures as well. They get a copy of the playground rendering, and that way they can see what that looks like. I want to start attaching renderings of what the classroom setup will look like as well, so they can start envisioning our school, even though the classrooms are not set up yet. But parents are also welcome to call me at the school, call us at the school, or email me directly at pamela.hernandez@mkustoneoak.com.
And we will be there.
Yes.
Yeah. And for anyone who's listening on the podcast and can't see the screen, the email, it's Pamela, Pamela Hernandez, Hernandez @mkustoneoak.com. And then the phone number 210-888-9952. And those are all also on the website. So MontessoriKidsUniverse.com is the main website. But if there's a location search. There's kind of a longer URL that I don't want to read the whole thing, but anyway, anybody who goes to shcharterhouse.com and you find the blog post, that's got links also that take you to the website. And as Pamela said, there's an inquiry form that people can fill out, and then that starts the process with, like you said, things like tuition, renderings, all the different age groups, all those security, all those good details.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, have we left anything out? Do you have any like final thoughts that you want to share?
No, not really. I think we want to thank you both. You, Leoni, and I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to share about our school. We are ready to bring in our teachers. They're ready to start with us. We are excited for this new journey. Both of us, it's been a professional opportunity, and my husband and I are very excited to bring the second location here in San Antonio, and we are hoping that our parents, can get, what they're expecting and more. So yeah, we're
Quality
ready.
service.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think it's wonderful. So it's a certified Montessori educators. This campus is a dual language English and Spanish campus, and you're located on the north side of San Antonio, which is a very fast growing area. So there's lots of families looking for high quality childcare, and you can help fulfill that need. And I'm so excited for, just the pictures I've seen so far of like what the classrooms are going to look like, and just all the open space, all the beautiful oak trees, and the land that you have. I think it's all going to come together.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I cannot wait. I'll be sure to continue to post photos and share photos for our families to continue to see the progress. So yes.
Yeah, and we'll share those in the group, and you please keep sharing stuff in the Turnbow group.
Yes.
We will.
Okay, great. Well, it's been great talking with you, and best of luck. I hope you get some good news about more like playground equipment and doors and things showing up soon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks again.
Okay, all right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.